Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Saturday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's cross the country. Of course, we just spoke with the Davidson women's basketball team in North Carolina. We go back southwest of them, and of course, we're going to Houston, Texas in particular. And of course, we speak to another Australian player on the show. Of course, another Victorian as well. Of course, last time we had her on the show, it was Game 1, Big V Championship Series, which involved her Waterbull team beating the Casey Cavaliers. And of course, her name's Abbey Sutherland. She joins us right now from Houston, Texas. Of course, she's part of the Houston Baptist Huskies women's basketball team. Thanks, Abbey, for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
No worries. Well, tell us, how's it been like this year? Which obviously, I think normally there would have been a couple of non-conference plays by now, but obviously due to the pandemic over there, I guess you had a couple of cancellation games as well.
Yeah, it's been a little bit different this year. The season got delayed by a few weeks, kind of thing, just because of all the stuff that's happening with COVID. And it's really, at the moment, we're just taking it week by week because we've got scheduled games in at the moment. We've been lucky enough to be able to play twice. So we've got to play Rice and Texas Tech. So we've had 2 games, but at the moment we're just, taking it day by day, week by week, really just so, because we really don't know if COVID is going to cancel games or not. So yeah, it's been good to be able to play twice. So
you mentioned that you played Texas Tech in one of those games. I guess tell us, how did that game pan out? And obviously Texas Tech is, I guess, one of the big schools over there. I guess tell us a bit about how that game panned out.
So Texas Tech last week, we ended up losing by, I think, around 15, 20 points. It was a little disappointing. We honestly played okay in patches. We played well, and then we just kind of, I guess, let them get ahead of us in the second quarter by about 15 points, and then we just couldn't kind of bring the margin back. But it was really good to play against a high quality team and honestly just get on the court and get an opportunity to play again, which is great.
Now you mentioned your team's taking things week by week, I guess, due to the pandemic. I guess, how's the preparations been like? And are you expecting to play any games between now and this time next week?
So we've got one game scheduled for tomorrow. So hopefully that game goes ahead. And we're playing Arlington Baptist. So hopefully we can get our first win tomorrow, which will be great. So we've got one game tomorrow, and then we've got 3 or 4 games scheduled in. So hopefully it all goes well. And yeah.
How difficult has it been with the pandemic over there in the US, and to try to sort of keep yourself clear from the virus, but obviously trying to get some sort of normality in regards to practice and hopefully get some games in?
Yeah, it's been tough. It's been different this year. I guess we've all had to adjust to it. We're actually practicing with masks on, which is a little bit more difficult to breathe, I guess, when we have to run and stuff. But I mean, it's just kind of what we have to do in order to play. So yeah, it's been difficult. There's been hard times. I've 3 of my roommates actually tested positive for COVID. So I was in lockdown for 15 days, couldn't leave my room because 3 of them had tested positive. That was tough. But I mean, I guess it makes you appreciate the time that you get on the court a lot more, and makes you really value being allowed to play, because there's so many people across the country who can't play at the moment anyway. So yeah.
Now, you just mentioned that. I guess for you, when did you realise that 3 of your roommates end up tested positive, and get tested straight away to make sure that you weren't going to be tested positive?
Yeah, so over the course of the 15 days, so it was hard, because one of my roommates first tested positive, and then every 5 days we got retested, and I guess every 5 days and a new one of my roommates tested positive. So honestly, I'm so grateful and lucky that I didn't test positive over the period of 15 days or up until now. So yeah, so we had, I think I've got tested 5 or 6 times over the period of the 15 days to make sure that I wasn't positive. So yeah, I guess I'm just super lucky, which is great.
I'm assuming they're all clear now.
Yeah, they're all good now, which is good. So yeah, it was a bit kind of scary for a while, but no, it's good. They're all fine.
Abbey, did you get a chance to return home to Southwest Victoria during the pandemic?
Yes, I did. I went home for 5 months. So I ended up going home 2 months early and went home in March, and then got to spend 5 months at home, which was really good to spend time with my family again. And then I was lucky enough to be able to come back in August here. So yeah.
I guess how good was it to at least return home for a bit longer than would normally, and I guess to spend time with family?
Yeah, it was great. Honestly, I got to spend a lot more quality time with my family because when I arrived in Australia, I had to spend 2 weeks just like inside and like obviously not going outside just in case I'd brought it back or whatever. Obviously I didn't. But yeah, it was great to spend more quality time with my family. And then I guess because we didn't really have the opportunity to go out and do a load of things, it was like a lot of time spent with family and close friends when I was able to see that.
Let's talk a bit about your team. I'm assuming that you've got a couple of freshmen in your team that are coming into this season.
We've got 4 freshmen, so we have 2 from America and then 1 from Ireland and 1 from Germany.
And how have they fitted into the team?
Yeah, they're fitting in really well. They're just working hard, trying to get their minutes, and yeah, it's been really good to, I guess, help them develop. As like I was a freshman last year, and I knew it was really hard coming, I guess, especially nationals, coming into a whole new country and having to play a different style of basketball. So it's been really good to see them develop and get better every day.
Now, on the opposite end of that, I'm assuming you've got a couple of senior players in your team that might or most likely going to finish up this season. But I think due to the pandemic, I think they have another year or can opt for another year. Tell us a couple of the senior players that might finish their basketball in college this year.
Yeah, so we actually only have we have 2 seniors, but one of our seniors is redshirted last year, so she's got another year of eligibility to play. So we actually only have one graduating senior this year. And yeah, like you said, they have the opportunity to play on next year, but at this stage, she's decided that she doesn't want to stay on and play another year, which I guess is what it is. But yeah, she's great for the team. She's a post player. She's super strong, super athletic. So yeah, it'll be a loss not having her here next year, but we're all happy for her that she's made her the right choice that's for her. So
now tell us a bit about your coaching staff there at the Huskies.
yep. So we've got a head coach, Donna Finney, and then we've got 3 assistant coaches who are all really great, really supportive, really nice people, which is great being away from home. Donna is from Scotland originally, so I guess she knows what it's like to be so far away from home and playing and stuff, which is great. So yeah, they're all really supportive coaching staff, which is really good.
Now, I know for a fact that I think you've got another Australian coming across to the Huskies, of course, from Victoria, funny enough, of course, from my side of Melbourne in Ringwood, or of course, she played at Ringwood, of course, that's Annabelle Debone. Have you ever played with her or against her?
No, I actually haven't. I never had, I think she's a couple of maybe 1 or 2 age groups below me. But no, I never have played with her or against her in our basketball. I guess we just never really crossed paths. But I've been messaging her over the past few months, and she sounds like she's a super awesome person, and I'm really excited to get her out here and have another Australian at HBU, which would be great.
You pretty much just answered my question about how good was it to have at least another Australian in your team. I guess when you heard that, how good was it to know that It was actually someone from the same state as where you're from.
Yeah, it was good. I guess it's always good to have somebody who knows, I guess what home is like. I mean, you can describe it to people here and explain it and talk to them about it, but it doesn't really, I guess they don't really understand it. Like, I guess the way somebody does actually has lived through it and lived there. So it's going to be good to have her here, and yeah, it'll be another Australian at HBU.
Now, let's talk a bit about your basketball journey. Where did it all start and why did you choose it, Abby?
So I started basketball when I was maybe 10, I think, roundabout. I actually never like wanted to play. I was super tall. When I was young, I was like 6 foot by year seven, so I was always like really quite tall. And I guess the squad coach back home had seen me, I guess, playing and was like, "Do you want to come try out for the squad team in Hamilton, where I'm from?" And I was kind of like, "Oh, okay, I guess I'll give it a go, something to do." And in the beginning, I like when I would step on the court for basketball, I didn't even want to pass the ball to me. Like I didn't really want to play. But I guess once I realized that I was okay at playing, I just kind of worked from there and then played, tried out and made my first state team, and then kind of went from there.
Now, I think I might know at least one of your basketball highlights, which I was involved in broadcasting. I'm sure that would have been the ultimate highlight. I think you ended up sweeping them, didn't you, in that year?
Yeah, we. I can't remember if we. Yeah, I think. Yeah, we. And I remember it was great. Like we had started in Division Two and we'd won the Division Two championship, and then we got to move up to Division One, and then we won the whole thing too. So it was great, and they were a great group of girls to play with. Yeah, playing at Warrnambool was awesome. But yeah, another highlight for me would have been in our under 18 state team. We won nationals, which was awesome. It was great. We were a great. That was a great group of girls too. So yeah, and a lot of highlights across my time playing, which is good.
How good was it to represent the Big V?
Yeah, it was great. I loved playing for Warrnambool. It was great. The team, all the coaching staff, everyone was so supportive. The Big V League is awesome. It's great to play in, super competitive. Yeah, it was really good.
Now, what does the sport of basketball mean to you, and especially being at HBU?
I think for me, it just comes down to like loving playing basketball. I think sometimes, I guess like the pressures and stuff can get in the way, but ultimately you just have to remember that you started playing because you loved the sport. So I think for me, yeah, it's been great to play and meet so many different people from so different states and countries and everything, and it's taken me so many different places. Honestly, I don't really know what I would be doing or where I would be if I didn't play basketball. So yeah, it's definitely really important.
And talking about important, how important has the Warrnambool Basketball Association been to your basketball journey?
Yeah, super important. I'd struggled to find a team where I felt like it was at the right level of competition for me to play in, and also a team where I felt like I fit in and I felt like people actually wanted me to play there. And I think Louise Brown and John Wemmeld at Warrnambool was super supportive of me, like believed in me, and yeah, I guess played me. Um, and I guess yeah, it was super great, and all my teammates were super supportive, and yeah, it was great. It was great to play for Warrnambool.
Now, you might as well tell us what position you play on the court, and if you had a preferred position where you like to convince your coaches to put you, where would that be?
I play a 4-5, so I play a center, but I can play inside or outside. I like to shoot too, so yeah, I guess my game is kind of at a 4-5, kind of just wherever Coach Donna wants to play me, which is best for the team. So yeah.
Do you have any future ambitions in the sport of basketball post college?
At this stage, I'm just kind of focusing on year by year, just trying to play as well as I can each season. I'm not 100% sure if I want to stay here when I'm finished or if I want to come back to Australia. So I'm not really sure I want to do exactly in basketball, but I know that I still want to play after I'm finished. But yeah, I'm not sure where that will be or when or anything like that. But yeah.
Not just there to play basketball, obviously you're there to study as well. If you don't mind us asking, of course, what are you currently studying and how important is studying to your basketball?
Yeah, so I'm majoring in psychology over here, which has been really good. And yeah, studying super important. Our coach is really good at that. Like if we're not keeping up our grades, like school, I guess, is the first priority. Like we need to be focusing on our classes and things like that. So she's really good at helping us, I guess, get the best that we need if we're struggling in classes or need to drop classes or anything like that. So yeah, I guess school's super important because in the end, basketball only lasts for so long, and your overall education is super important to try and get a career out of it once you're finished.
Now let's go to my next question, which is, what will be your advice to our listeners here in Victoria who finally got our lockdown a couple of weeks ago that should get involved in basketball again?
I would just say to go for it and enjoy playing. Like I said earlier, it all comes back to like if you love playing, then play. That's the real reason why you should play a sport. Yeah, and just enjoy yourself, I guess, and yeah, just see where it can take you.
Similar question, but this time, I guess, do you have any advice to kids, especially in the country areas, that thinking about going to college and obviously doing what you're doing now? What would be your advice to them? Do you have like a number one advice to give to them if their dreams is to go over to college?
I think just to work as hard as you possibly can, and try and find the right people that will help you get to where you need to be. I think that's super important to try and find the right coaches and the right people who will push you and support you in order to achieve what you want to do. But ultimately, just take every game, every practice as trying to get better and just push yourself as hard as you can.
Now, I've got to finish up with a couple of light-hearted questions about your teammates there at HBU.
Yeah.
So the first question I'm going to ask you is, who had the most embarrassing moment on the court this season and what was it?
Well, you've only had to play 2 games so far, so I don't really think there's been any really embarrassing moments so far, but there's always funny, I guess, on and off the court. But no, I don't think there's been a really embarrassing moment yet.
Who's the comedian in the team?
We have a lot of funny people on our team. All of our Americans are super funny. I guess, honestly, it just depends on, I guess everyone's always laughing at our center on our team, Matt. Everyone honestly on our team has great banter and we get along really well, so there's always lots of jokes happening.
Now, I know there's this social media thing called TikTok. So the question I want to ask you, Abbey, is who's the best singer and dancer on the team?
The best dancer? Oh goodness. Oh, I don't know, that's a hard one. I think Anya Maguire, who's our freshman from Ireland, would like to say she's the best dancer, but I don't think she is. She just is trying really hard with TikTok trend. But we actually have a fair few good dancers on team. So yeah, it's definitely not me. Oh no, we're not singers. Definitely not.
Is there anyone on the team that are just plainly forgetful in general?
I don't know. Everyone has their moments, I think. Nobody on our team stands out to me that's really forgetful, but I guess now everyone, I guess, forgets some things. But no, everyone on our team is pretty good.
Do you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
I don't really have any pre-game superstitions, or I just like to get there super early and just kind of, I guess, go out and before the game and stuff like that and get treatment. But other than that, not really. I just like to get in the zone, I guess, and just get ready to play.
Have you convinced any of your teammates at all in your team to come down to Australia and visit with you?
I have a lot of my teammates want to make the trip out to Australia. Yeah, everyone loves the idea of coming to Australia. So hopefully, once COVID has, I guess, disappeared, people can come out and visit it and see what it's like.
Now, have any of your teammates tried to put the Australian accent, and how's that traveling?
Yeah, a few of my teammates try. They give it to me for a few of the words that I say with my accent, but no, a few of my teammates have tried. One teammate that I mentioned earlier from Ireland actually has a pretty good Australian accent. I'll give it that, but some of the others are not too good.
I'm sure it sounds a bit British by hearing all the others.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not great.
Has any of your roommates tried to put the Australian accent on?
Oh yeah, my roommates are big ones for trying to mimic my accent, and I guess giving me a lot of banter about words that I say that are different and stuff like that, which is great. But yeah.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, tell us who are your roommates, and I'm assuming they're on the same team as you, or they're in different sports?
No, they're all on the same team as me. So I've got Kennedy, Dee, and Tamia are all in my room at the moment. I don't know if you can even hear them in the background.
Yeah, I
They're all
can.
laughing, but yeah, they're great fun. They're all three American girls who actually already knew each other before coming here. They all went to the same high school. So yeah, they're great fun, and yeah, good to be around.
We mentioned about the Australian accent. Have you tried to put the American accent on, and how's that traveling, Abbey?
I try, but I'm not very good at it. I'm not good, but I give it a go sometimes. But no, I'm not great at it.
And of course, finish off with the last one, which is for everyone here in Australia, especially here in your home state of Victoria, that should follow you and your teammates over there HBU throughout the season. I guess how can they go about? What would be your advice to them to support the team?
I guess keep up with either our Instagram or our if you just Google HBU Women's Basketball, just to head over to our website, and then you can just see who we play. And I know the time difference doesn't line up. A lot of times we play at ridiculous hours, but yeah, just to keep up with how we're going, and yeah, you can see it all on our website.
Well, Abbey, thank you so much for getting up your time to join us. It's awesome having you on the show. It's been maybe 2 3 years since we last had you on the show, and it's awesome to see you doing so well over there in the US, especially down there at Houston. And hopefully, once this conference season gets underway, that you can power your way through that competition and hopefully go away into the postseason.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great. And yeah, thanks so much for your support. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we can get some wins this year. Thank you.
No worries. And that's Abbey Sutherland there, joins from the Houston Baptist University women's basketball team. Of course, if you do want to support them, of course, we'll put all the details up on how you can go about following on the website and also on the socials. There's more on the Smash Sport Show right after this. Don't go away here on the Saturday edition.